I'd like to begin by introducing our judges for tonight. Nola Miyazaki, she's the Norman C. Stevenson Chair and Director of the Rihanna Center. We have Elizabeth Payne, Dr. Payne. She's a lecturer for the School of Entrepreneurship. We have Steve Irby. He is the founder and CEO of Kidder and Stillwater Designs. And Brian Lau, he is the Vice President of Bake NA. Thank you all for coming and for supporting the E-Club. We really appreciate everything that you do for us. All right, now finally we have our contestants. We'll start off with Jake Crawley with Keep Clean NG. Then we'll have Lindsay Morris for Styro Insulation. And we have Sarvan Kumar with Max Q LLC. And Johanna Tamez with Ebenezer Group. So, thank you guys for coming. And good luck to all of you. Okay. Oh, is there one?
You missed one. We have 5 because it's not 4.
Oh, David Walker. I'm sorry. David Walker. My bad. You were at the top, but then you were like number 4, so I missed you. Non-good group. David Walker. All right. Good luck to everybody. You guys did a really good job yesterday, and I'm looking forward to hearing your presentations today. The only difference between today and yesterday, you'll still have 90 seconds to present, and the judges will have 5 minutes for Q&A afterwards. And we'll wait 1 minute between each contestant to give the judges time to fill in their feedback. And with that, we'll go ahead and begin. So, Jake Crawley.
Hello, everybody. Since the U.S. recession began in 2008, natural gas has been a huge topic in many forms of media. Yet nearly 3 years later, the topic still is afloat, but little has been seen or felt by the everyday consumer sector. This has presented 2 main problems with the use of natural gas vehicles in the U.S. Number 1, the infrastructure is still in its early growth stage. 2, natural gas vehicles lack the range, mainly due to the vehicle tank's weight, size, and capacity. Our solution is the MagnaCell fuel storage tank. A fully composite high-pressure vessel, the MagnaCell's advanced proprietary material combination will allow for fuel to be stored at 5,800 pounds per square inch. This is a more than 50% increase in current industry standards of 3,600 psi. My name is Jacob Crawley, co-founder of Clean Energies, an innovative advanced product for natural gas vehicles. Our mission is to increase vehicle range as well as fuel storage capacity in natural gas vehicles. My company is currently seeking $350,000 in seed investments to push our product through prototype development and testing. If you have some more time, I'd love to discuss my product in more detail with you and answer any questions you may have. I appreciate your time. That's it.
How close to completion is your prototype?
We're about 85% complete. All we're currently needing to do to finish our prototype is get a few more components for our tank and finish a few more contracts with manufacturers to produce it.
So have you ever pressured one up?
Currently, no. We're still in the process of getting those components, but once we do, we're at the Helmholtz Center in Tulsa Center. We start winding our machines, and then after that, we'll start the 2 types of tests. There's FNVSS 304 and the NGV2 test. It consists of about 10 tests, hydrostatic testing, bonfire tests, things of these sorts.
So what makes you think you're under pressure?
The proprietary material that we're using to wind the tank in, as well as the resins we're using. Other than that, the manufacturing process is what's going to give the tank its main component of strength and durability.
How many vehicles do you think are currently ready for an installation of this type of fuel tank? I mean, currently in the market.
We're going to be positioning our tank throughout 4 phases. In the first phase, we're going to target Oklahoma and Texas. There's about 324,000 potential customers in the Oklahoma and Texas combined. In Oklahoma, there's about 5 customers considered retrofitters. We also have customers that are going to be considered your fleet operators. These are going to be companies such as AT&T, Fine Airport Parking. And then we're also going to have customers, which is the smaller percentage of the market, about 10% of our target market in the first phase one, which is OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. Examples of these are Ford, Chevy, and GM.
Have you pitched them to any of the automakers yet?
No, sir. Not any of the major automakers.
Do you have certain plans as far as your marketing towards these retailers or?
We already have some working relationships of companies that have contacted us, such as Fine Airport Parking, Carter Chevrolet, and Shawnee. So whenever we've finished our prototype testing and development, we will pursue these relationships and start developing contracts to sell our tanks to them.
What about insurance?
Insurance.
Just in case.
As we move through prototype development, we'll start to look more into insurance and, the forms of liability and such.
See if there's might be significant cost for insuring something like that.
As far as, whenever we go into commercialization, I think that will be a bigger problem as far as where we're at right now is manufacturing our prototype and the products. The standards and regulations that we're going to have to exceed,
Right.
basically equal to that.
How much will it cost to get it actually into your first vehicle for commercial use?
Well, the $350,000 is to get us through prototype development and testing. $125,000 of that will go towards developing the tanks during prototype. The next $225,000 will go into all of our testing for those two types of tests, that FMV, SS304, and NGB2.
Then is it ready for being sold to your first customer? I mean, in terms of scalable manufacturing and beta testing and all that, I mean, is that all included?
Yes, that's what we would consider our beta testing. Those regulations, those two tests I told you about. Which is not, it's about 10 tests in total, but 2 categories of tests.
Have you identified your competitors as far as this type of product?
Yes.
Price-wise and everything?
Yes, we'll be selling it as a premium product. There's a range of tanks on the market between Type 1 and Type 4. Type 1 being your cheap, heavy steel tanks, moving all the way to Type 4 being your complete composites, lightweight. They're on the edge of the market innovations. This is what we're trying to develop. So we're going to sell it as a premium product. Compared to other products, we're going to have a profit margin of around 58 to 61% on each tank we produce. And that will range between $1,200 and $3,000 for each tank. That's a 4 gas gallon equivalent equaling $1,200. We have 8 gas gallon equivalent, and you get a 10 gas gallon equivalent equaling $3,000.
Where would you produce them?
We're going to outsource them. First, like I said, the Helmerich Center in Tulsa will be doing our main prototype testing and development. And then for our testing for the FMVS 304 and the NGB2, we'll do it in Riverside, California. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We're going to have an extra minute to fill in their feedback, and then we'll go ahead and get started on the next contestant. Styro insulation.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Morris. I'm with Styro Insulations, a 100% recycled, blown-in insulation located right here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where we've currently been manufacturing for the last 6 months. Now, currently, in today's society, in the U.S. alone, there's over 3 million tons of styrofoam dumped into landfills each year. Now, of that, 75% comes solely from retail chains. Now, this styrofoam takes 500,000 years just to break down. So, with that in mind, what my company's done is we found a way to actually receive this styrofoam, recycle it, and then manufacture it into a blown-in insulation that's not only fireproof, it's also pest-resistant, mold-resistant, as well as being the only insulation currently on the market that's 100% waterproof, with an industry-leading R value of 5 per inch, which none of our competitors can actually say that. Cellulose can't, spray foam, nor can fiberglass. Now, we have sales lined up throughout Oklahoma as well as Texas. I've got 6 contractors currently signed up. I sell directly to insulation contractors. Reason being is 65% of them use green products. So they're a prime market for us. We have installed within 6 homes in the city of Stillwater alone, I've got 2 more that I'm installing on Friday, so by the end of the week, it'll be a total of 8. We're currently asking for $250,000. That's 15% equity in the company, and by year 5, we'll be worth $16 million. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Does your installation product require any special equipment for installation?
This is what's great about that, is we actually are compatible with fiberglass as well as cellulose floaters. So you don't have to use any other machine other than what the contractors are already currently using. And the best part about it is it's so light, so it actually cuts their installation time almost in half.
How does the cost compare with standard fiberglass?
Sure, so it actually depends on the fiberglass. There's a couple different kinds. Now, if you do the fine grade, we're actually neck and neck. Now, if you want to do the, and this is only blown in, when you get into bats, it's a completely different issue. But we're a little bit more expensive if you're doing just a thicker grade of fiberglass. We're actually right competitive with cellulose. Reason being is we have to keep competitive pricing just so that we can actually sell the product, since we're such a new product to the market.
But you can advertise it as a green product.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's 100% recycled.
What about fiberglass? Is that green?
No. Fiberglass is interesting because this new fine grade that they've actually come out with that's being blown into sidewalls today is so thin. Now, fiberglass is made out of glass, of course.
Right.
So the problem is if the contractor doesn't do a job correctly, which I'm afraid to say some of them don't, what will happen is that fine grade can actually get into the ventilation system, so you can actually be breathing in glass. Kind of a scary thing.
Can you talk a little bit about the competitive advantage of prices versus wanting to use something that's recycled or?
Oh, sure. So what's great about our product is, like I said earlier, it's 100% recycled. So with that being in mind, actually the benefit goes strictly to the homeowner. So what we do is we sell to installation contractors who can then pass the savings on to the homeowner if they so choose to. Homeowners can get a 10% credit back for using a green or a recycled product. So whatever they spend up front, they can get a total of $500 back on their installation. So for that alone, that's already an advantage. But not only that, it takes less of our product to actually get the R value that's necessary in a home that does anything else, since we have such a high R value.
Is cellulose recycled?
It is, but not fully recycled. That's what's interesting about it, is cellulose, it is a different company, Fiberlight, Green Fiber, they both have different mixes of paper that they use and percentages of paper that they use. So the majority of cellulose is about 65% to 85% recycled, when ours is 100%.
So do you have any competition that has fully recycled materials?
Nothing fully recycled, but in recycled materials, of course. Cellulose is going to be our #1 competitor. The thing about cellulose is it has such a bad dust buildup. So installing it kind of isn't easy. I mean, you've got dust buildup, it's always going in your eyes, it's messy to clean up. Our product's clean, it's probably the prettiest installation you're ever going to see. And it's quick. I mean, you can cut your time nearly in half. So just for contractors alone, when they thought they could do one home, well, now they can do 2. And so it's more of a, they can retain more profit that way.
Can you talk about how you're going to scale the manufacturing of the product, given that it has to come from other, retail?
Sure, so how we get our supply?
Well, how are you going to scale your supply, the manufacturing, the distribution, and all of that?
Okay, so,
How are you going to expand to different markets?
okay, perfect, thank you. Basically, the way we do it is, it's such an easy process to actually get going and get started. And so what we do, and we actually have a 3-phase process to this. The first thing we do is we go in and we lock supply down. That's key. What I do is we do 3-year contracts with these distribution channels. So, for example, we're in talks or in conversations with Hobby Lobby in OKC, as well as Big Lots in Durant, as well as a new Tulsa waste company that they actually have 70% of all the waste in Tulsa they actually own. We're actually in talks with him trying to get all of his styrofoam, which is just a process of logistics right now. But basically what we do is the first thing we do is we go and we lock down supply. After the supply is locked down, then we start looking for sales within the area. Is this an area that we can actually sell the product in? Now we've done a marketing analysis and all this, so we know exactly the pockets that are actually building the most, that are renovating the most and the people that are in the contractors that are actually using recycled product as their key insulation. So that's the second process. Now the third process is actually, and throughout this time, of course, we're scouting out warehouses. And we've actually got our cost to a degree that we actually understand how much it's going to cost to run the building. We're looking at a warehouse down in Dallas right now. We've got the one here in Stillwater, so we've got an idea as to what we're looking at. So getting it started is pretty easy.
Okay, next we have Sarvan Kumar with Max Q.
Good evening. Space is empty. Even gravity does not exist in space. This condition, known as zero gravity or microgravity, provides unique capability to create better medicine to cure diseases like cancer and also to develop better materials. However, the problem is to recreate such conditions here on Earth. I am Sarvan Kumar, a PhD student from mechanical engineering. I am the CEO and the inventor of technology behind MaxQ LLC. We provide highly specialized microgravity conditions for research and product development. Our patent pending technology involves a highly customized proprietary unmanned aerial vehicle. This unmanned aerial vehicle flies in a particular trajectory to create microgravity conditions. Our technology has been recognized with the Best Technology Award at the 2011 Ryder Businessman Competition. According to the initial market analysis, we project a sale of $2 million in the first year of service, growing up to $15 million by year 5. Our margins are high because it's a low volume and a highly customized service. We currently seek a seed investment of $500,000 to build and test our prototypes and also to set up initial operations. We have recently submitted a $125,000 phase 1 proposal to demonstrate our technology, to demonstrate our system feasibility. With that, I'd like to take any questions. Thank you.
So your low volume, your customers, you just have a handful of customers, right?
Yeah, our customers are like researchers, scientists, product developers who support the space exploration on a major scale. And also pharmaceutical industries who are developing new drugs in such microgravity conditions. So we have huge customer scale. But for the numbers that we project, we only need low volume of customers to reach those numbers.
And how will you reach those customers and convince them to work with a startup company?
Right. Traditionally how this works is, these people who need access to microgravity condition, they go to NASA to seek access to space basically. But since NASA has axed the space shuttle program, they don't have access to space condition as of now. And it's really expensive to go to space. Now what we are trying to do is, we're trying to establish a technology partnership with NASA. So we'll become the service provider for NASA to create these microgravity conditions. And that's how we plan to reach our customers. And apart from that, we also plan to do technology demonstrations at different universities. Because university researchers form the backbone of this particular research industry. And we have already established a relationship with the UAV researchers here in Oklahoma State University. And they are highly interested in using our service once we have a working prototype. And through them, we plan to reach a wider range of customers.
What's the how do you know describe more the need or the pain in the market that makes you so sure that these customers are gonna buy your service or your?
Well, last year, NASA spent over $8 billion to go to space and get this work done. And they had 64 applications to need access to space. And they were able to provide service to only 11 of them. And of that 64, more than 30% is academic-based research people. The 65%, the 70% of the market is product developers and pharmaceutical industry who actually need access to these conditions to create better products, because there is a huge market for those products here on Earth. And that is why we believe that our service would be capable of addressing those people who got rejected or who didn't have access to these conditions. And just to add on top of that, we contacted researchers in Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, and they gave us an actual exact number that 65% of their researchers are waiting to have access to these conditions. And those are the basic thing that we know that this service is needed.
Have you had any meetings with NASA? Do you have any traction in that relationship to understand whether they might be amenable to a contract relationship?
We haven't directly contacted NASA, but NASA's outreach office here, NASA Space Development Office here and Oklahoma Space Development Corporation, we contacted people over there, and they are interested in our technology. However, since we don't have a prototype that we can demonstrate our technology on, we are like a little far away from establishing any solid relationship with them.
How close are you to having a
We have our design completed, and we have it validated with industry people who are really best at designing unmanned aerial vehicles. Currently there is about 17 subsystems to this unmanned aerial vehicle, like the guidance, navigation, controls, structures, 17 subsystems. We are through with about 13 subsystems as of now. And once we have all the 17 done, then it will be the matter of raising money for us to build the actual working prototype.
Do you have an exit strategy for the business? If you're asking for $500,000, how much is that worth, and what's your strategy for that?
Well, initially we're seeking $500,000 in exchange for 20% of the company, and our exit strategy is we envision a merger or acquisition by a competitor in year 7. Now, based on our calculations, we project a seed investor return of 15 times the seed investment.
Is this the drone?
Yeah, it is a completely unmanned, remotely operated drone.
Is it commercially available, or you haven't developed the whole plane as well?
We have developed the entire new airframe, because none of the existing airframe is capable of withstanding those high forces that we plan to fly this on.
So you've got to develop that, and then the equipment to perform the tests unmanned inside
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all the 17 subsystems that I was indicating on.
It's a lot of work.
I've been working quite some time on building, and we have a big team with wide variety of expertise, including controls, unmanned aerial vehicles. And I myself am a mechanical engineer. Oh, all right. Thank you very much. More questions you can contact.
While we're waiting for the judges to do the scorecard, it's a good time to let everybody know that following the conclusion of the presentations, everybody will leave the room, and we have a reception set up in the lobby over here, and the judges will deliberate at that time, and when they've reached a decision, we'll announce it at the reception. Okay, next we have David Walker with number.
Picture with me for a moment. You're 60 feet up on a vertical rock face. Your fingers ache and your heart's racing. Every so often, you reach down onto your harness and you place a piece of equipment into a thin crack in the wall in front of you. As you prepare to place your next piece of equipment, you realize that the size you need is somewhere below you. I've developed a solution to that problem. Hi, my name is David Walker and I'm the founder of Non-Good Equipment. I'm currently a student in the Entrepreneurship Master's Program here at OSU, and I have my bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering. Currently, there are many types of camming devices in the rock climbing industry that generally have a limited range of use. I've designed a camming device that features interchangeable parts that will allow it to be used over a wide range of cracks. This will allow the rock climber to be able to adapt their equipment to meet their needs, which will ultimately result in a safer climbing experience. It will also result in lower costs because it won't require as many pieces of equipment be purchased. Currently, we're beginning in the rock climbing industry, but we plan to expand Non-Good's equipment line into other sports in the future. I work with qualified board of advisors who have 40 plus years of experience in the professional guiding and business development industries. It's through my passion for the outdoors, my experience as a professional guide, and my background in engineering that I will be able to continually push the limits of existing gear and develop new products.
How's your product different from other camming devices?
Currently, camming devices come in a range of sizes, and they only work over a few millimeters of range. Mine, you can actually take your cam apart and replace the pieces that determine the size. So you can use it in place of basically 4 to 5 other pieces.
While you're hanging there?
No, you do this on the ground
Oh.
or in between. It's not active. You do it before. Generally, in rock climbing, you use what's called a guidebook, and it lists what you're going to need for that route. And so you know what you have that you don't need, so you can adapt that before you begin.
Oh, you do it on the ground, okay.
Right.
So you just have one piece instead of like a whole group of cams?
Right. You probably need 10 of mine, but that would replace 20 to 30 of my competitor pieces. Right, because you place them every 10 feet or so, so you can divide that by how tall your wall is to see how many you need.
Right.
How far along are you in the prototyping process?
I'm roughly 80 to 90% of the way. I've completed the design, and I'm currently working on the prototyping. It's the materials part that I'm working on now to make sure that it's as light as possible while also having the strength characteristics I need.
So is the material, what's the patentability of it? Is it the design or the material or both? Or what?
It's a combination of both. It's a completely unique design, and I'm also looking at using composite materials, which in this industry is unique. Basically, everybody uses a steel stem and aluminum looms, and then that's pretty much how everybody does it. So I'm working on other materials to try and reduce weight.
Have you found a patent?
No, because I haven't been able to finish my prototyping of the materials yet, I have to wait until I have that combination finished so that I don't waste money patenting something that eventually isn't what I'm going to produce.
How do you think the cost of your device will compare to that of your competitors?
One-to-one, mine's going to be more expensive, but because it replaces multiple pieces, ultimately it'll be a lower cost to the client.
Yours is going to be lighter weight too?
Yes. But you're looking at something that weighs only a few ounces to begin with, so it's not going to be a huge difference, but in the climbing community, if you can say that it weighs an ounce less, that's more desirable.
And then where would you go after this product? What would come next?
Well, I work as a guide, and I'm currently a coordinator at the guiding program here at OSU, the adventure program. And so I work with people in other sports, and we have come up with ideas for the backpacking industry. We're looking at some things in the skydiving industry, and we have a lot of ideas right now, but no design that we're working on. There's a lot of designs in notebooks, but nothing being prototyped yet.
What would you have it manufactured?
Currently, I've set up everything to be outsourced through a couple of companies because
of the nature of the parts I need. I just have them send me the parts I need, and then I assemble it in-house.
What would your marketing and distribution entail?
Marketing and distribution, I'm doing in two different ways. First of all, I'm marketing through current industry professionals. One of my board members has been in the industry for a long time. We have a lot of personal contacts. So we're getting our equipment into the hands of the people who train new rock climbers on how to use this. So we're going to have a lot of word of mouth marketing that way. And our distribution, we're looking at getting it into small guiding shops where those people work for the new climbers. And we're also working on getting it into REI and Backwoods, which are the two largest outdoor products manufacturers in the U.S.
And what's it gonna take to get into one of those?
Currently, that's what I'm working on. I don't know exactly how it's going to work yet because I've just started working on that.
And what's the investment that you're looking for?
Currently, because of the resources I have, I'm looking at just the prize money from this competition because it will allow me to finish my prototype. And at that point, I'll begin to look for seed investors to go into the certification and patent process.
So you'd start with just one product, or?
That's what I'm doing currently. I do have two other products. Thank you.
Okay, our final contestant is Johanna Tamei.
Hi, my name is Johanna, and I'm with Evanessa Group, and we believe that education can change the world. Evanessa Group will use for-profit social entrepreneurship to foster the growth of education in developing countries. Our inspiration came from 3 little boys from Ethiopia. They can't go to school because their families can't afford their school supplies. So their story really sparked our desire to help. Also, we found that according to global enrollment statistics, approximately 72 million children of primary school age in developing countries were not in school in 2005. And those are thought to be optimistic numbers. So our company wants to provide a high-quality, durable rucksack backpack that will be marketed to socially conscious 18 to 24-year-olds. For every backpack sold, another one is going to be filled with school supplies and donated, as well as 10% of the profits will be allocated toward building schools in developing countries. Our backpack is called the Evan Pack, and it has a tracking number to enable the customer to connect and see their impact. We have designed our prototype and have contacted buyers and are now seeking $100,000 for startup capital. Evan Group wants to provide students with a durable bag as well as an opportunity to join our movement. Any questions?
How does the price of your bag compare to something else they could buy?
Well, looking at our main competitor, like BF Corporation, some of their higher price point bags, like North Face, is about $120. Some of their lower price points, about $20 or $30. So we keep competitive. Our backpacks are $84.95, and that built into that is the price of the 2 backpacks.
What's your distribution channel going to be for sales?
Well, right now we're mainly focusing on marketing to college students. So the main way we're targeting them is college bookstores. So, for example, there's this trade show in Salt Lake City this year called CAMX, and it's for all National College Stores Association. So all these stores from around the country that are in college towns and around universities go there. So we'll be attending that to try to go there. And another way is just kind of social networking, and something really fun we found about our product is that when we tell people, they get excited and kind of start telling other people, so we're really relying on word of mouth.
In a college bookstore, how would they know your story?
Oh, well, our backpack in itself, for example, the backpack will have a picture and the name of the country where the donated partner bag is going to be. And so you can, it'll have, of course, our logo, and our whole thing will be on the tag, our contract, and our story.
On each bag, there'll be something on each bag, or is that?
Yeah, like each bag will have, on the inside cover, will have a picture of the country, as well as that tracking number that you can go online and check kind of what we're doing as far as the donations.
How do the numbers work? If $85 covers 2 packs, 1 pack is going to be donated, and then 10% of the proceeds are going to be also donated. So what's the margin on 1 pack? I mean, like how do you really make money?
Right.
Or do you make money?
Our profit margin for wholesale is about $16, and for direct sales, like online, is about $50. And so right now our code, for example, for the big bag, it's more complex this time. It has more pockets and zippers, and it's $25, and we know that'll go down significantly once we start ordering more. And for the donated bag, it's the same quality, it just has less zippers and stuff, and that's $5 and $2 for the school supplies.
So on each sale of $85 after the donations, what's your net? Do you know what your net profit is going to be after you paid for the 10% and the other backpack?
I know that the first year is projected to be about $300,000 for net profits.
For how many backpacks?
I'm not sure exactly, I do know that a break-even point will be for 17,761 backpacks in year 2.
Is the $85, is that the cost the bookstore pays, or is that like the retail price to the customer?
It's a retail price. It's $84.95. Our wholesale price is about $50 free, I think, to bookstores.
To the bookstore.
Yeah,
Okay.
and online, for example, it's also the same as a retail, $84.95, plus the shipping, which will be charging $8.95.
So you hopefully make more profit online, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Right.
We push that.
Right.
Better profits.
Do you have numbers regarding how many potential purchasers of backpacks there are in the college populations that you're targeting?
Yeah, like we're going to start, for example, in Oklahoma and Texas. We did have a survey that we conducted on campus last year, and I think it's about, about over 90% of students had backpacks. About 65% of them had bought a new one within the last couple of years.
Are you gonna have to like change your design every couple of years, or?
Well, we do plan to have different designs, and we're working also with different NGOs in different regions. So we want to have different backpacks be associated maybe with different places. Thank you.
So that concludes our presentations. So if everybody would be so kind as to move to the reception area, our judges will deliberate and will be out with their selections.
Those are 3.
Okay, so the judges have deliberated and they have decided. So, but before we announce the winners, I would like to thank our judges, Nola, Dr. Payne, Brian Val, and Steve Irby, for coming out and supporting us. I'd also like like to thank our sponsor for this event, IS Net World. Without them, the prizes wouldn't be possible. So, without further ado, the winners are.
Okay,
Mr. Irving, thank you.
who's got the money?
The money's not here.
Oh,
The money's not here yet, but it's coming.
Okay, the money's not here yet, that's what they always say, right?
The check's in the mail.
The check is in the mail.
Okay, so, all right, a drum roll. After much deliberation, and this really was tough because we had a couple that were pretty much tied and one that was maybe a clear winner, but the other ones were, the business cases were so diverse that you guys really made us scratch our heads on this one. So, but I'd like to announce number 3, third place first, and that is Sarah Van Kumar with Massachusetts. Congratulations. We think it's a big, what do they call it, big, hairy, audacious goal or something like that. But way to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good one. Number 2, we thought that this business case was very interesting, very practical, and something that could be built upon in the future by someone that it sounds like they know what they're doing and gave a good presentation. And so we'd like to award number 2 to David Walker. Thanks. Okay, now we need the big drum roll. All right. Big drum roll. All right. And number 1, this group, we feel like really has their stuff together. They're operational and have a good solid business plan. There's always chances for things to happen, but we felt like they're well along the way with a good solid plan, great presentation, and want to give number 1 to Lindsay Morris.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you to all of the contestants. You all did wonderful. And thank you for coming tonight and last night. Thank you again to our judges. And I'd like to make a quick announcement. The SBA workshop that was scheduled for Monday, this coming Monday, October 3rd, isn't going to work out, but we have rescheduled an event for Monday as well. And then we are going to tour Coop Ale Works, and it's a brewery in Oklahoma City. And so we're going to leave here no later than 1:45 from the Bronx at 6th and Western. And we're going to carpool there, and it starts at 3, so it'll be like 3 to 5-ish. And then my parents at my home are hosting a reception with drinks and appetizers on them. So we'd love for everybody to come. They didn't have any limit on people. And I'm not 100% sure if there's a 21 age limit, but there's no testing no testing or tasting at the brewery. So I'm not sure if you have to be 21, but we'll let you know on that. I would assume no. And yeah, thank you again for coming, and we'll see you guys very soon.